Good morning, children. How are you, children? I hope you all fine. Children, we have completed the botany portion, isn't it? Yes. Shall we revise the portion what we learned already? Yes? Okay, today we are going to revise Unit 18, okay? Unit 18, that is organization of tissues. Organization of tissues. So you have to know what is cell, isn't it, ma? You must know what is cell. Cell is the structural and functional unit of all living organism. Based on the number of cells, organisms are grouped into two, unicellular and multicellular. You all turn page 210. Page 210. Unicellular organism. What do you mean by unicellular organism? If the body of an organism is made up of single cell or one cell, it is termed as unicellular organism, isn't it? Example, bacteria, protozoa, etc. Okay, so first one, unicellular organism. Page 210, the first paragraph about unicellular organism is there, underline it. Okay, you have to revise because these chapters are completed, isn't it? Botany portions are over. We have to revise the portion what we learnt already. Yes. Now this unicellular organism, the body of an organism. If the body of an organism is made up of single cell, it is called unicellular. Example, protozoan and bacteria. If the body of an organism is made up of millions of cells, then it is termed as multicellular. Example, higher plants and animals, isn't it, no? Then, so you know what is cell. Cell is the structural and functional unit of all living organism. Group of cells together form tissues, isn't it? So cell, group of cells together form tissues. Tissues form the organ forms the organ systems, and organ system together make up an organism. So you must know what is cell, tissues. In the second paragraph, see the second paragraph, group of cells positioned and designed to perform a particular function is called a tissue. Can you define tissue? Tissue is a group of cells positioned and designed to perform a particular function. Example, xylem and phloem. You know the function of xylem and phloem, isn't it? So function of xylem is conduction of water and mineral salts. Phloem is conduction of food material. The xylem, though usually root absorbs water and mineral salts, it has to go upward, isn't it? So through xylem elements, it will reaches every parts of the plant body. Normally, leaves prepare the food. It has to translocate it to each and every part of the plant body through phloem elements. So this tissues, example example xylem and phloem. What is tissue? Tissue is a group of cells which perform a particular function. Okay. Next, organ is a structure made up of collection of tissues. So many tissues, group of tissues form the organ. In example, in plants, the root, stem and leaves are the organs. Okay. So you must know what is cell, what are unicellular organism. Example, what are multicellular organisms. Example, then define cell, define tissues and define organ. Okay, organ is a structure made up of different types or collection of tissues. Example, in plants the root, stem and leaves are the organs. Okay, how to understand? So inside the text you have to mark, you have to read each and every line and you have to learn. Okay, ma. Next is the types of plant tissues. Plant tissues are of two types. What are they? Meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. What are the two types of plant tissues? Meristematic and permanent. Meristems or meristematic tissue. Then second is permanent tissue. These two are the types of plant tissues. Next, about meristematic tissue. Clear? What are the types of plant tissues? Plant tissues are grouped into two types, meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. See page 210. Next is meristematic tissue. The word meristem is derived from the Greek word that is meristos, which means divisible. This is one of the one word answer. Okay. The term meristem is derived from a Greek word that is meristos. Meristos means divisible or having cell division activity. So meristematic tissues are actively dividing tissues. Okay. So meristematic tissues are actively dividing tissues. What are the two types of plant tissues? Meristematic and permanent tissues. You must know the characteristic features of meristematic tissue. Okay. If you did not write the question, you have to write now. Write down the characteristic features of meristematic tissue. This is one of the 4 mark answer. Okay, ma? They are living cells. First point is meristematic tissues or meristematic cells are living cells. Then these cells are small, oval, polygonal or round in shape. Small, oval, polygonal or these cells having many sides. Polygonal in the sense the cells having many sides. So meristematic, what is the first feature? Meristematic cells are living cells. Okay. They are living cells. Second one is these cells are small, oval, polygonal or round in shape. Then these cells have dense cytoplasm and these are thin walled cells. The cell walls are not thick, they are thin walled with dense cytoplasm, thick cytoplasm. Okay. The next is with large nuclei and small vacuoles. These cells, the next point is these cells undergo mitotic division. The last one is they do not store food material. These are the characteristics of meristematic cells. Okay, you must learn the characteristics of characteristic features of meristematic cells. So you all know the types of plant tissues, isn't it? What are the types of plant tissues? Meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Today you learn only about meristematic tissue. What are meristematic tissue? These are actively dividing tissue. Okay, you must know the characteristic features of meristematic tissue. This is one of the 4 mark answer mark and learn. Okay, mom. First one is they are living cells. Second one is the cells are small, oval, polygonal or round in shape. Okay. Then third point is they are thin walled cells. They are thin walled cells with a thick cytoplasm. Then they are with large nuclei and small vacuoles. Then these cells undergo only mitotic division. There is no meiotic division. These cells undergo mitotic division. Then these cells do not store food material. These are the characteristic features of meristematic cells. Okay. Next, types of meristematic cells. Now turn page 211. There are types of meristematic cells. It is not a book back question. You have to write down the question. Explain the types of meristem based on the position in the plant body. Explain the types of meristem. Based on the position in the plant body. Okay. So on so you know meristem means actively dividing tissue. Meristematic tissue is actively dividing tissue. So based on the position in the plant body, the meristematic tissues are of 3 types. Okay. Based on the position where it is present in the plant body, based on that it can be grouped into 3 or it can be classified or it can be divided into 3. One is apical meristem, second one is lateral meristem, third is intercalary meristem. First one is apical meristem. From the word itself we come to know where it will be, isn't it? Yes. So on the based on the position of their in meristem in the plant body, it can be classified into three types, or meristematic tissues are of three types. That is, what is there? First one, apical meristem. Second one is intercalary meristem. Third one is lateral meristem. So you have to write down the question there, okay? Explain the types of meristem based on the position in the plant body. So apical meristem, from the word itself we come to know it is present in the apices or at the tips, okay? Apical meristem, these are found in the apices or growing points of root and shoot, okay? So apical meristem, where it will be, you must know where it will be, what is the function, okay? So what are the types of meristem? These meristematic tissues are where it will be present. This about location you must know, and the function. So if you ask this question, explain the types of meristem based on their position in the plant body, what you have to write is the types you have to write, then you must write the location and their function, okay? So apical meristem is present at the apices or at the apex of stem and root, particularly the growing point, okay? So what is the function? It helps in increasing the length of the plant, both in root and shoot, okay? So apical meristem, see page 211, apical meristem, these are found at the apices or at the growing points of root and shoot, okay? Its location is the growing point of root and shoot. What about its function? And bring about its increase in length, okay? Increase in length, that is the function of apical meristem. What is the second type? Intercalary meristem. So if the question is asked like this, if this question is asked for you, you have to draw the shoot apex like this, okay? You have to draw the shoot apex. So for this question you must draw the diagram. Shoot apex like this and locate the apical meristem. This is the tip of the shoot, isn't it? So here apical meristem, you have to mark it. Apical meristem. So this meristem, this region consists of actively dividing cells. So in the word itself you come to know meristematic tissues are they are living cells, actively dividing cells, okay? Now this apical meristem. Next is about intercalary meristem. So you must, I already told you, if you ask this types of meristem, you must write the location and function, isn't it, ma? So like a second one is intercalary meristem. It lies in between the region of permanent tissues. You know the next class you'll study, already you studied. Next class we can revise the permanent tissues. This permanent tissues are of three types: parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Okay, so this intercalary meristem is present in the in between the region of permanent tissues, and it is especially found at the leaf base, okay, or on the base of internode. So what do you mean by internode? You know, this suppose this is stem. Here the leaves are arise, isn't it, ma'am? So the area of the stem. The area of the stem in which the leaf arises is called node. This is node. The area of the stem in which the leaf arises is called node. The distance between the two nodes or the adjacent node is internode. What is called internode? The distance between the adjacent node or the distance between the two nodes, that is internode. Here the intercalary meristem, it is present in between the region of the permanent tissues and is the part of primary meristem. It is found at the base of the leaf. Here it is found at the, suppose here there is leaf, here there is the node. It is found at the, this lateral meristem found at the base of the node, okay, found at the base of the node. Now it is either at the base of the leaf or the base of the internode. Example, grasses. It helps in the production of branches. You have to write there, write a sentence there. It helps in the production of branches. This lateral meristem, this intercalary meristem helps in the production of branches. Okay. Next is, what is the next type of meristem? Lateral meristem. Lateral meristem, these are arranged parallel and here the lateral sides of the stem. So it helps to increases the width of the stem, isn't it? So lateral meristem is present at the lateral sides of the stem. This is lateral meristem, helps to increase the thickness of the stem. Okay, thickness of the plant part. So these are the types of meristem you are learning. Okay, so next about the functions. Functions of meristem. These are actively dividing tissues responsible for primary and secondary growth of the plant. Okay, so children, what we revised today, you have to write it in your notebook. Okay, so you must know what is tissue, what is cell. Cell is the structural and functional unit of living organism. Based on the number of cells, organisms are grouped into two: unicellular and multicellular. Uni means single, isn't it, or one. If the body of an organism is made up of only one cell, it is unicellular. Example, bacteria, then protozoan, etc. Next, multicellular, higher plants and animals. If the body of an organism is made up of millions of cells, called multicellular. Example, higher plants and animals. Many cells together, group of cells together form the tissues. Example, xylem, phloem. Okay, next to this, or this tissues together form the organ. Example, in plants, stem, root, leaves are the organs. Okay, these organs together form the organ system. Organ system, for example, this water conducting system. Okay, then food conducting organ system. Next, this organ system together make up the organism. Okay, so what are the types of plant tissues? There are two types of plant tissues, permanent and meristematic. We all learned about meristematic tissue today, isn't it? So what is the meaning of meristem? Meristem means actively dividing. Which from which language it was come from? The Greek word, isn't it? Meristos. Meristem comes from the Greek word meristos, which means actively dividing. So these are the, you must know the characteristic features of meristematic tissue. Then turn book back question. One of the book back question, Roman number 5.1. What are intercalary meristem? How do they differ from other meristem? What are intercalary meristem? How do they differ from other meristem? Answer is there in page 211. You already marked this answer also, you are learning. So book back, only one question is there. So inside the text also you must learn. Okay, line by line you have to read, one word questions are there. Then this characteristic features of, write down the characteristic features of meristematic tissue. This is one of the 4-mark answer. That is not a evaluation part question. Inside the text you have to mark it and learn. Okay. Next types, explain the types of meristem based on their position. These 3 types of meristem you are learning, its location and its function with a diagram. Next, the answer briefly, 5th Roman number 5, first question. What are intercalary meristem? How do they differ from other meristem? What are intercalary meristem? Meristem lies between the region of permanent tissue, that is intercalary meristem. What is the function? It helps in the production of branches. Then it differs from, how do they differ from, one more question is asked there, isn't it? How do they differ from other meristems? This intercalary meristem differs from apical meristem. How? Apical meristem is found in the apices or growing points. Then lateral meristem is arranged parallel and causes the thickness of the plant. Okay, but intercalary meristem lies between the permanent tissue. Then function also you are learning, and after learning you are writing these answers in the notebook. We shall meet again in the next class. We shall revise about the simple permanent tissues in the next class. Thank you, children.